عشان يعني ها you need it محتاج زين بس يا ريت ان ترفع ايدك اذا حد محتاج الجهاز. 1 2 3 حد غيره؟ انت محتاجه شكلك. ليش؟ خلاص زين. وفي حد زين بيجيبون لك ان شاء الله 4 أجهزة ان شاء الله. و حد عنده مانع ان اقدم باللغة الانجليزية بالنسبة لكم؟ اوكي عادي خلاص. Who's the organizer? When should I start? Now? We're good to start? Okay. بسم الله. Thank you. Bismillah. First of all, before we start, can the organizers maybe get more chairs up here for the women and children who want to sit and enjoy? It's going to be a time where we come together. We want everyone to be comfortable. Can I get a thumbs up from someone? Good. Thank you so much. So, I think, first of all, can I get the mic up a little bit, please? Can everyone hear me okay? All right. So first of all, I want to say thank you to all of you for coming down to support and be part of this talk. It means the absolute world to me. You know, whenever I do these things, I always get scared that no one's going to show up. Like, you know, whenever, thank you. I always, like, there's that fear in me that there'll be like one person speaking, listening to me, and that one person will be my wife. And then always, so I always know I have one person listening to me. But thank you so much, brother. If it means the absolute world for you all to come down and join, it shows me that, you know, the work that we all do on social media and that connection that we have is real. You know, we're all real humans. We're all coming together. And that's one thing I want to tell you. But the second and most important thing I want to tell you is look around this room. Just take a second to look around and look at the different people who are in this room. Look at the different nationalities. Look at the different backgrounds. You know, it's a beautiful thing because this is, to me, what the UAE represents. It means people from all different backgrounds, all different nationalities, coming together to create something beautiful, coming together to make all our dreams come true. I want to give you all a round of applause, and I encourage you all to clap for yourselves for being part of that. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. So when they called me to talk about marriage, I was like, me? Like, Salama, like literally when I got the email about giving a talk on marriage, Salama and I just argued why the fish was grilled and not fried. And it lasted like about 2 hours. We didn't talk, she ran out. You know, I mean, it was just weird that I was here to come and give a talk on that. I want to give a couple of disclaimers. Number one, I am not a marriage or love guru. I go through problems and arguments and issues just like every single one of the people who are in this room. All right, Salam and I argued this morning about what I don't know, but it just seems to be a repetitive thing. It's become routine. We have our issues, we have our bumps, but we move forward. And it's that dedication to moving forward that sort of keeps us together and keeps our relationship strong. Number one. Number two is a very important thing that I want you guys to have this mindset as I go through the talk. All right, and that's about happiness. All right, and I don't have the formula for happiness, as I don't have the formula for love or marriage, but I have something that we did that sort of seemed to help in all areas of our life, whether that be love, whether that be work, whether that be our studying, whatever it was. This certain element helped us. And what that is why we're unhappy. Stay with me. So, a modern day philosopher, his name is Alan de Botton. He talks about something called status anxiety. Now, let me tell you all a bit about what status anxiety is. It means the art of consistently comparing yourself to other people. Is the quickest way to find unhappiness. Why? Because the mind has this interesting way of staying positive than looking for something negative. You will scroll down your Instagram, seeing everyone saying, oh, you look great today, oh, you look amazing today, you're like, oh, it's so good. You're looking at, hey, you look stupid. You're like, what? Why would they say that? And that will overtake your mind. The mind has this amazing way of consistently looking for the negative. But what status anxiety is a consistent comparison of yourself to other people, where you cannot find happiness in just being something absolute, but always saying, I'm only good if they're not doing better than me. My car is only great if my neighbor doesn't have a better car than me. My marriage is only good if the neighbor's marriage is falling apart. We had a beautiful holiday to Bali. We enjoyed it. We had the best time of our life. It was great. And you get into your office and then a fellow colleague comes to you and says, we just had this beautiful first-class holiday to the Seychelles. And then you just think, what was this ugly Bali holiday that I did? But how does their holiday affect yours in any way? It doesn't. For one of the things that Sanama and I did that was probably the biggest and most impactful thing was when we stopped looking happiness in other places other than ourselves. Because happiness is something that is absolute. It is not something relative. Other people don't need to be miserable. Other people don't need to be falling out of love for you to be in love. And as long as you remember that thing and have that ability to not compare yourself at all to anyone else, happiness is right around the corner. It's there. Because you do things that make you happy every day. And I assume that everyone in this room who's here at the Mother of the Nation Festival with a lot of rides and a lot of food that's going to make me hate my life tomorrow morning, I assume that you have happiness within your grasp. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Otherwise, you'd be at home, in front of Netflix or something. Yeah? Me and you are going to be good friends after this, man. So let's get into it. So I thought, how many of you actually follow me on social media? Can I get a show of hands? Great. So a lot of you know the stuff that I post about. So I thought, I'm not going to try and give some foreign thesis on what marriage is and what love is. I'm going to actually go back into the sort of mindset that I have before I made each video. Is that okay?
I can hear your video.
You got to be kidding. I'm like screaming here, bro. Here, let me help you. Can I put these here? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Yalla. Okay, we got you. First things first, the beginning. How we fell in love. This was a video I made on Valentine's Day. And whenever someone thinks about our relationship, they think about, what do you think, huh? Yeah? I'm sorry. It was the best thumbnail I could find. When anyone thinks about our marriage, they think that Sanama and I saw each other on this beach and it was the sunset and we looked at each other and we ran into each other's arms and I fell and she picked me up and it was this beautiful moment where we looked into each other's eyes and said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Where that is when we tell people that we got married in the most cultural and traditional way possible, people will think, no way. There is no way you guys got in a marriage where you didn't really meet and go out and get to know each other to that extent, or live together and get engaged for 12 months. We got engaged and then we got married. You're on your phone? Seriously? This is my moment here. What is this? So, we literally got engaged and then got married 3 months later. And we got introduced by a brother-in-law who's from the same sort of tribe as me that introduced us. And then we sort of talked and said, yeah, it pretty much feels right. And I always get that question where people seem to ask me, what's better, an arranged marriage or a love marriage? I'm like, well, number one, why can't they be both? Why can't you have an arranged marriage with pretty much you guys are in love? Or why can't you have an arranged marriage where you fall in love?
Hello.
Or, hey, what's up, man? Is this going to be Or why can't you have, people make the assumption that one marriage will lead to a certain way of life, where that couldn't be further from the truth. I know people that were pure arranged marriage. When I say pure arranged marriage, I mean they didn't even look at each other before they got married. Like he showed up on on his wedding day being like, well, and she showed up on her wedding day going, well, let's see what this dude looks like. Scary stuff. For me it's scary, but for them it felt natural. And they are so in love. They are so happy. And even when you go to places like the US, you know, I mean, where really fixed marriages are a foreign concept, you know, even there it's like a 50-50 chance, right? So, you know, for people to sort of, the reason I share this about how we fell in love is because we fell in love mainly after we got married. And we fell deeper in love when we stopped comparing ourselves to other people. And we fell even deeper in love when we left the UAE. And we're just on our own. No other parents, no other people to please, just us two. Which says a lot about the role that other people play into the happiness of your marriage. Like me and my wife are happy, or I go out in the evenings and Salama's sitting with her friends, for example, and her friends ask her, hey, where's Khalid? And she's like, I don't know, he's out with his friends. Sure he is. That's why he's late. And then, you know, that ability of people to sort of bring in their concepts into your life. Something very important. For the reason I share this is because there is no way of falling in love. It's something very personal to you guys. And it's a journey that you're all going to have to take. And you're all going to have to figure out on your own. And we didn't have a formula when we began our marriage. We just kind of said yes and let's see what happens tomorrow. And it's something that you build over time. This one, we hated our wedding. This was a very popular video. It got something like 7 million views. And I think it resonated with us because we like sat and talked about like the worst day of like our relationship. And we thought it was our wedding. And probably the quick answer to why we hated our wedding so much is because our wedding wasn't about us. It was about our guests. And making sure they were eating well, making sure they were having fun, making sure they were dancing, where I was standing up just saying hi to people. 90% of them I didn't even know. Hey, congratulations. Who are you? I don't know who you are. Some guy asked me, when is dinner going to be served? I'm like, who the hell are you? Are you serious right now? You're just here for the meat. So, I mean, that's why, and Sanama was the same thing. She was exhausted. She was, you know, stuck, and I felt stuck, and I wasn't dancing, and I wasn't having fun. I didn't even eat. Isn't that brutal? Guy doesn't even eat at his own wedding. How horrible is that? Unacceptable. And then we thought, what if we had just done something different? What if we had just done something small, just us and people we love, a little DJ, some pizza, just, you know, had fun. And a lot of people, and I've heard from people all around the world who have written similar messages saying a lot of the times a wedding is to impress other people. Really? So you'd rather impress other people to the point that you have a miserable time on the happiest day of your life? It makes no sense. And when I look back at it, it made no sense. We spent God knows how much on that wedding. And I think I had, all I remember is standing. I swear to you, I don't remember doing anything else. And a lot of the things that we impacted into our lives too. Furnishing your home. That's something we're doing now, and that's why this resonates with me. When we furnish our homes, we think, when we have guests, what is it going to look like? We think what they're going to like. I'm like, I don't care. Because I'm spending my time at home. Let's invest in some comfort. Let's invest in some things that make us happy. And if guests come and they don't like it, well, you'll be gone in about an hour anyway. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing for your marriage. Put yourselves at the center of it. Put yourselves and only yourselves at the center of it. Because it's your day. It's your day to have fun. It's your day to celebrate. Everyone else, if you're hungry, that's on you. I'm the one with the memories. It's like sending someone else to enjoy your honeymoon. It's the equivalent of it. And it's silly to me when I look back at it. And it's one of the things that if I could really go back in time and change, I would have changed that. Because that was literally how we felt on our wedding day. Hungry, tired, miserable, not knowing who 90% of the people were. It doesn't matter. Focus on yourselves first, especially for the happiest day of your life, and take that through with you on all these other things that make up your life, not anyone else's. What keeps our relationship strong? Here it's the little things. The one thing that I've learned through a relationship and through raising our kids is it's not these big moments that make up the beautiful things in your life. It's not those big things, those big gifts, those, fancy dinners that make up all these beautiful memories. All they do is actually a lot of regret about how much we've spent on like a sushi that was like, 200 dirhams. I still remember that. Hurts. But like, for us, it was always the little things that we did every day consistently that made the biggest difference in our relationship. Praying together. Just chilling together. Making the time to speak every day. Even if it's just half an hour. Even if it's just about, how bad the weather is. That communication creates habits. These praying together creates habits. Even sitting together and promising that you'll only watch the show with them, that's a habit. And she just found out I watched Black Panther without her. I'm not sleeping in my house tonight. So it's these little things that you do every day, whether that's in your life and in your relationship. Whatever it is that's healthy for you, that you do consistently, is what makes the biggest differences in your life. Think about it. People that go to the gym. It's about the people that go consistently. Think about it. The people who have great relationships are the ones who work on it consistently. Anyone who tells you that a relationship or falling in love is something that's automatic is lying to you. Get them out of your life. Because it's the people who work on their love. It's the people who work on their health. It's the people who work on their careers. Whatever it is in your life, that you're going to see the change. And a relationship and love and marriage is no different. It is hard work to have a healthy marriage. It is hard work. It takes commitment. It takes sacrifice. It takes those days that I come home and I'm exhausted. It takes the days that she comes home and she's exhausted to say, we're still going to spend some time with each other, even though I don't want to see your face. I love you, but I just don't want to see your face right now. So it's all these things that you do consistently that make the biggest differences. Our boring marriage. Another one that resonated with people. This was us in the airport when we realized, another thing that people get, that especially when they see us in the media and stuff, they think our life is this crazy roller coaster, Hollywood, whatever. Our life is the most boring life ever. We get up, we check the kids, they go to school, we work, I come back, she takes care of the kids, I edit the video, we have dinner, put the kids to bed. Huh? Sure? No. Put the kids to bed, I do some more editing, then we watch a TV show, then we go to sleep. That is what we do 95% of the time. We don't go out. I don't have friends. All right? Like, I don't have friends, man. No, I have friends. But no, let me be clear. I realize that there's different age groups. I need to be very clear with what I say. So, as with all things, there's sacrifice, as I said. So one of the things I sacrifice to achieve the goals and the dreams for my family and for my life is to sacrifice the social aspect of my life. So that's why my life is so boring, because I dedicate everything to my family and to my work, and any other spare time I have is just time for me. So the one thing that I realized is a marriage is not about, all the exciting times that happen. Like, really, the biggest connections that we've had are some of the most boring times. Just being able to sit down, watch TV, and be so happy in the silence of each other. That's when we knew that we were in a good place. Where I was sitting there in silence and I didn't feel comfortable because سماعات يا جماعة. لا حاضرين. That I didn't feel comfortable in that silence without her. And that's when I knew that we were in a really good place. I did that about Randy. Oh, it's going back, I'm sorry. What happens without a mother? This was another very important video that I did, and this is the video that I'm most proud about. All right, and I need the men to hear this because it's very important. The average working mother Okay, please stay with my terminology. The average hours a working mother puts of labor is 100 hours a week of labor. So when I say labor, I mean the overall working, coming home, taking care of the kids, all that stuff, everything. 100 hours. The average single man or married man or single woman does an average of 42 hours of labor a week. Half. Why do you think that is? Can anyone guess? Exactly. So what's the man doing? If he's doing 100, the woman and the man, why aren't they both doing 75? Anyone want to answer? Exactly. Exactly. Because society, was I clear? Did everyone understand what I'm saying? Is it clear? We clear? Imagine that. Imagine the exhaustion, emotionally, physically, mentally. Imagine the toll that it will take on the relationship. The woman's doing everything. The mother is doing everything. And the man's doing what? I don't know. The point of this video was to say that a real man, and I'm not afraid to say this, a real man, a real husband, and a real father is someone who helps in the house as well as being a provider. Did you hear that, guys? A real man. I believe that if a man is not man enough to help with the children, to help clean the house, to help cook, then their man status is debatable. This is being recorded. It's fine. Because it's unacceptable to me that a mother should do double the average working hours of a man, even when they should be playing an equal role. Parenting is a partnership. It's not decided by your gender, whether who gets to parent and who doesn't get to parent. Always remember that. And that was one of the videos that I was the most proud of, and it had 25 million views, this video. I was so proud of it, and it had a real impact on ourselves, on our marriage, and on people. Why we eat like this. Another video, I heard this amazing story about, like, I'm someone who's inspired by stories and stuff like that, and I heard this amazing story of an elderly Arab couple. And this elderly Arab couple were so connected that they could only eat from the same plate. And even when they were in their oldest ages, they just wouldn't eat. It just didn't feel right to either the husband or the wife to start eating and their partner wasn't there. And I thought that was pretty inspiring because it taught them, and they would say how over time this couple like understood each other better just from how much they shared. Like the husband would know when the wife wanted the meat and stuff, and the wife would put the exact amounts of like spice and yogurt on his side, and they just got this like connection and understanding through eating. So since hearing that story, Sanam and I pretty much always, when we're together, we're eating off the same plate. And the thing is, it teaches us the art of sharing, or it teaches her the art of giving up because she knows I'm going to eat more than her. So, but anyhow, it teaches us more about each other. So that is one of the things that really had an impact on it. And again, it comes back to the little things that we do in our lives every day. This is again another habit that, and another great thing about this, budgeting wise, it is phenomenal. Because we're only ordering one of something when we go out to eat. I'm telling you, when you cut that budget in half, it feels so good. She's leaving me. Another thing people assume because of our work and because of the stuff we do is they assume that Salama and I are always together. Like we're just always like connected at the hip. We're always together. We're always traveling together. Where, you know, that's not necessarily true. There's an amazing story by Khalid Gibran where I talked about in this video, where he talks about the importance of distance in a relationship. I'm gonna like say the quote. It's not gonna be verbatim, so please don't quote me or come back on Twitter and say that wasn't the quote. I'm telling you, this is not verbatim. What he said is let there be distance in your love, and let that distance be like two poles or two barriers that hold up something on the top of it together. Because if it's too close, it loses balance. But when there's distance, it stays strong. And I realized through that quote is, even though I'm a father and I'm a husband, I'm still Khalid. I still have my hopes and dreams and aspirations. Even though Salama is a mother, and even though she's a wife, she's still Salama. She has her hopes and dreams and aspirations away from everything else. I have a dream of being, you know, building this platform and having a show and doing even much better work. She has a dream of building her business and doing all these things. I play a role in that by supporting. She plays a role in that by supporting. But that, let's be very clear, that's her dream for her. And this is my dream for me. And we realize is that distance is healthy because it allows us to focus on each other, or on ourselves, but it allows us to see quite clearly what the other person is doing. Because you know what they say, when it's too close, you don't see things clearly. But the fact that we have our own individual lives and individual careers and goals that we have allows us to see clearly where the other wants to go and be a support in that. Can she fix this? So this is another very important video. You can hear it. It's okay now? Clear? So this is another video that we did. And it's something that frustrated Salama and I. So it's something that I promised I would do a video on. And, you know, maybe Salama can talk about this a little later. But she said it was okay for me to talk about it tonight. So we still okay? Okay. Everyone know Salama? Can you raise your hand if you know her? Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Does everyone know about the skin condition that she has? You can just raise your hands if you have. Thank you so much. So, you know, she gets a lot of support for the work that she does. But, you know, we get a lot of people who are sending her and I messages saying, hey man, you can fix this, yeah? You know, you could fix this. Or Khalid, the worst was Khalid, why aren't you didn't ask her to change? Like you didn't ask her to cover it up or go seek treatment and go fix it. And then this one guy, you know, came up and like, yo, Khalid, I have a treatment. And he must have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, because what makes you think that I want to get her treated? Or what makes you think, even more than that, what makes you think that she wants to get it treated? Who are you to assume that? Why can't someone be confident in any way that they see themselves? Are you guys okay? Distracting something in the back? Please, let me know. Why can't someone be comfortable in their own skin or feel beautiful in just the way that they are? Why do they have to conform to some way that media pushes on us on how you should look and how you should present yourself? It's disgusting to me. You can't force that look on people. And you're coming after that, instead of saying, you know, I appreciate what she's doing or being brave to do that, you come and say, here's how you can fix it. The most beautiful thing happened right after Salam had done this campaign. We went to, where was that place, the restaurant in the park, Marat Park. Remember that girl? So we went to this restaurant, the pizza place at Marat Park. Pizza, yeah, pizza. So we sat down and a group of young girls, about 13, 14, like gave us a wave, and I went and sat and I'm like, hey guys, can I have a slice of your pizza? I'm broke. So they let me sit down and eat pizza. And then one of them looked at me, the girl who was right here, she had this huge smile on her face. And she looked at me and I knew right away. So she had vitiligo all over her eyes, she had it on her cheeks, she had it all over her hands. And I looked at her and she had this huge smile. the first thing she said, I'm getting goosebumps right now. The first thing she said, she looked at me, she smiled, huge, beautiful smile. She's like, I have what Salama has. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna cry. But it was the most beautiful thing that a girl that age, and I'm sure she has to go through a lot. All right, because kids are mean people to other kids. I'm sure but for her to be that happy to see someone going out there and doing it. She tried to cover her hand, and Salama grabbed her thing and said, don't you ever cover it up. You be proud. And that's sort of the messages that we're trying to put there, is not everyone that has something different about them wants to be fixed or wants to be changed. Let's create this society where people are proud and happy and celebrate the differences that we all have. Being a supportive husband. Another very important thing. And this was a video that I did when Salama got a call to go and give a talk in Egypt. So she went to be on a panel in Egypt with the MISC Foundation. It's His Highness. You saw this video? Thank you. Did you like it though?
I liked it.
All right. Okay. Fine. I'm watching you, bro. So, so she was asked to give a talk at His Highness the Crown Prince's Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia at the MISC Foundation, an amazing foundation that's doing some phenomenal work for women, for culture, for society in Saudi and in the Arab world. And she was called to come and give a talk there, to be on a panel, and I was just there. I was there to support her. I was there to take pictures of her, to make a video, and to hold her handbag while she was up there. And here's the important thing. So stay with me for a second as I shape this scenario for you. So we all watch movies, right? So have you ever seen the movie where the Hollywood star, who's a man, is walking on the red carpet, getting asked interviews, and his significant other, his wife or his girlfriend, is holding his arm, so in love, just there to support, right? Has everyone seen that scenario at some point in a movie? How many of you seen this scenario? Whenever a woman or an actress who's on the red carpet, this is in a movie, who's in a red carpet, the husband is always standing to the side like kind of miserable and out of place. Anyone seen that scenario before? No, what? Sorry? Why is it always like that? Like, why can they never paint a picture of a man being supportive of the woman and coming second and just, grabbing the pom-poms for a bit and cheering them on? Why is it so, even in media, even in Hollywood, to shape things like that? To show that, to get that mindset in all of us that a wife earning more than the husband is weird. Or a wife who's more successful than the husband is weird. Or a wife, or even now, it's like still taboo in the US for like a stay-at-home dad. It's always like, really, bro? Like, I mean, and these are sort of things that really just being a supportive husband, she leads and I follow. That there's nothing wrong with that. That if we truly believe that, our marriage is, man, I would love nothing more than for her to just go out, do her thing, and, dude, I'll be a professional dad. I would love that. And there's nothing wrong with the woman going out there and being successful and doing more and outshining. Because I believe that when she shines, I shine. And when I shine, she shines. It's not a competition here. I'm not out to be better than her, and she's not out there to be better than me. We're in this together, and her success and my success cross each other. Everything can be beautiful. Our family is a mess. And I say this in the most heartwarming way possible. We are always, every day, we're just always playing catch up. We're always trying to figure things out. We always have arguments. We always have difficulties. Our kids are ruining things. I got a call from school to come in and meet with the teacher, right? We argue, but it's the most beautiful life in the world. It keeps me alive. It energizes me. It's just a beautiful thing, and I think that's sort of like the way I see love and family and everything. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that doesn't mean that it can't be beautiful. And like everything, we see the beauty in the mess and in the struggles and in the hard times that we have, because what we realize is through all those struggles, through all those hard times, through the mess, we just become closer together. And I feel that is what love and relationships and marriage and parenthood, and even as an individual, I think that's what life is all about. I want to thank you all for coming and supporting. You guys have been amazing, and I'll take any questions. Do you guys mind if I sit down for a little bit? Yeah. Thanks so much. So I'll take some questions. Please, ma'am.
I just wanted to say I find it really refreshing to hear the way that you speak about women and about family, and so thank you very much for that. I wondered how much your upbringing kind of shapes those views, because a lot of men do not think the way that you think.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's an amazing question. I had a very, very strong mother. My mom moved to Abu Dhabi in 1982. So just to put things into perspective, that was before we even had Abu Dhabi Mall. We had no cafes. We had pretty much, there was school and friends' houses in those times. And she used to work as a nurse in an old people's home. And she had to save money to buy a ticket to come back with my dad, because my dad only had enough money for one ticket. And my dad, when he was out hustling and grinding, it was my mom, in a country that she knew no one, couldn't speak the language, couldn't get around easily, raised us. And she, at a very early age, taught us the strength and the courage of a woman. Because my dad was here, and it's his country. He knows what he's doing. But my mom, blonde hair, blue eyes, kind of like, I'm looking center because you look, kind of remind me of her. But blonde hair, blue eyes, white, as white as it just actually a bit of a tan, of course. But that's how she is, and I think that's sort of inspired me to appreciate the role that a mother plays, but the role that women play in our society. And she taught me how to be a gentleman very quick. I remember my dad opening the door and me running right in front of my mom to get through the door and getting a wallop on the back of my head. So I have this phobia of letting a woman walk into a room or anything behind me. So it's these small lessons that sort of shape me. Yeah, my mother was a very big inspiration to me. I hope that answered your question. Thank you. All right. No more questions? All right, we have one here. Gentlemen.
So normally life goes up with ups and downs. So what do you do normally to get from the downs up? Sorry.
Are you talking about in a relationship or in life or in work?
Marriage.
Marriage. So again, I say I'm not a marriage or a love guru. I'll just tell you what we do, and try it if it helps. If not, find a marriage guru or a marriage counselor. But so Sanam and I have a few rules. Is when we fight or when we argue, it ends there. And when I say that, it means we're going to argue until it ends. There is no pause, go about our day and come back. She tries to do it. I try to do it. We try to walk away, but we end up coming back. No, you said, so I think whenever, and this is for anything that we do now, I think whatever it is in a relationship, if you let something linger, it just makes it worse. If someone's doing something, the husband or the wife, that annoys the other person, just sitting and waiting and hoping it will change and letting that anger build up on you changes nothing. Because you haven't told them that, hey, that kind of annoys me when you open your mouth when you eat. I'm not saying that happens between us, but if you just hoping it will change doesn't change anything. But I think active communication and ensuring that the other person always knows exactly how the other feels is probably the quickest way to come up from the down. Because a guaranteed way to keep things down is just not doing anything, not communicating at all, not being transparent and saying exactly how you feel. Hope that helps, man. Thanks, Kylan.
Okay, so I think most of us have noticed that you and Salama are pretty good about poking fun at each other sometimes.
Yeah.
And it seems like in an appreciative way of seeing each other for who you are. So where does that humor play a role in your relationship? How has that kind of evolved over time? Were you always poking fun at each other from the beginning, or how did that evolve?
That's a great question. That is a phenomenal question. So remember how I said we fell in love, then we fell deeper in love, and then we fell deeper in love? That last deeper in love was in our second year at Stanford in the US. So Kylan is a friend of mine from university at Stanford from the States. A very, very smart man, and a great friend, dear friend of mine. And I think we only found out that humor in the second year of Stanford as we were sitting in because again, like when I talk about the history of our marriage, we started very, very rigid. And we went through tough times. But I remember us sitting in a restaurant, that Thai restaurant that we went to in Salatai. And this awkward situation happened to me where the waiter was like kind of hitting on me. And then the waiter was a guy. And Salama was just sitting there and sort of like was laughing in a way that I never heard before. And she was laughing out and I started laughing too. And then we kind of found this like sort of fun. That was the first time that we were really laughing, like really, and like that laughter from the gut. And it's weird because it's kind of like we stumbled upon it. And it's then like, now that the reason your point is so important is because I would say 99% of our marriage is just us making fun of each other. The only time we're serious, I swear to you, Kylan, the only time we're serious is when we talk about the kids. And I feel that is a huge part of our relationship, because in our relationship, we just make fun of each other. And it sort of comes off in the work that we do, in the videos that we make. But it's something that was just completely, we stumbled upon. And I kind of feel, I wish I could give like sort of an answer that could get someone to find that. But it's something that I just guess happened. And
I think when we decided I think when we stopped. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so I think the answer is, to me personally, is when me and Khalid decided to be best friends.
that's a great point.
I stopped, like I was like, I am not going to be your wife anymore. Like I will be Salama, your best friend. And that's it. And that's when that's when I actually started to love you even deeper. Before
Yeah.
you were like Khalid and like, you know, the father of my kids. You know what I mean? Like
You were just Khalid. Get the hell out of my life, Khalid.
Exactly.
No, it's true.
When we decided to be friends, that's when we found each other.
Yeah, I have to admit that's a fantastic point. We are. I mean, I just love hanging out with her, and it's like whenever I want to do something, she's the first person I think of. Even if it's like a guy thing, like when it was like I wanted to go to UFC in San Jose. So you know the Ultimate Fighting thing when we were living. She's the one I don't like. Please come with me, Sanava, because I know it'll be that much more fun with her. So I'm so glad you brought that point up. I mean, we definitely are best friends first. Thank you, Kylan. We have 1 and 2. Do you mind if we give the 1, 2, and 3? Can we go this way? Is that okay? So we'll do these 3 questions and then we'll all go hang out and grab some pizza or something. Can we get a mic to the lady here, please? 4. Don't worry. All right, fine. That's 4.
يعطيكم العافية.
الله يعافيك يا ربي.
ويحييكم على هالروح
الله يخليك.
الرياضية.
الله يخليك ما
شغل
قصرت.
الحياة الزوجية الروح الرياضية اللي تكون بين الزوج ونفس ما قلت النقطة المهمة يكونوا جديين أكثر عن اللازم.
نعم.
ويعطيكم العافية.
الله يعافيك.
بالسلامة.
الله يطول بعمرك.
ويحفظ لك عيالك يا ربي.
ما قصرت.
بالسلامة والله يبارك لك.
الله يحفظك ما قصرت يا اختي يعطيك العافيه شكرا جزيلا. We had sorry, let's go with the gentleman. We'll come back to you right after this. Guys, there's please. Am I the only one who hears that? All right. Is it annoying to me, or is it pretty around? Can we get that taken care of, guys?
First, thank you for sharing with us your experience and expertise here.
Thank you, sir.
The question is, how far do you expect to get in social media? Where do you see yourself like in 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
That's a great question. Guys, please. Whoever's on the sound, please, guys. It's really annoying to everyone. Mic off? It's on, okay. So I quit my job in 2016 to do a show on CNN. And this is a two-part answer. So first is where do I see myself in 5 years? Or 10 years. Throughout my whole life, I was always expected to know what is the next step. And it's killing me, guys. That's so annoying. I feel bad because you're all guests here. If we turn off the mic, I'll speak. So, throughout my whole career, I was always asked that classic question of why I see myself in 5 years. And every part of that journey, I always had to have an answer. It is a sure thing you're going to get asked that question in an interview, in some way, shape, or form. So Khalid, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm like, man, I don't even know what I'm going to have for lunch. All right, so let's just chill out. All right, but you had to have an answer, a smart one at that. So I quit my job to do the show at CNN. I had about a year worth of savings because I didn't have a job to go back to after I did the CNN project. And then I sort of tried to do a show on traditional media. It didn't work out, so then I said, I'm going to be fully focused on Facebook as my main platform for a show. First of all, I'm putting a bet that social media is going to take away the social. It's going to be the new media. And whatever media is on TV, the news, that's going to be traditional media. But our main source of watching shows, of enjoying programming, of getting news is going to be on social media. And I want to position myself for when that formalizes itself. So Salama and I are on the Facebook media program. So we work with Facebook to create concepts, to potentially build a show that we're hoping to try and get sponsored and build in Ramadan. Since putting a daily video since December 5th or 6th, my audience has grown from about 120,000 to 750,000 people on the page now. My goal by the summer is to, inshallah, I want to try and be at around 1 million. It's just like a good solid number to have, I think. But it's also because I want to be able to share more stories with more people around the world. And, you know, a number based is a good indicator of how well you're doing. All right? So my short-term goal is to get to that. My long-term goal is to have a media company that's based around, because I'm one person and I'm exhausted. So I want to have other Khalid and Sanamas. I want to have kids who want to have a show on Facebook. That you guys are messing with me, right? So I want to have other people, like I want to have, like, you know, New Arab Media Company and my show under that. And what's your name? You're Diab? I want to have Diab have a show under that. Maybe he wants a 1-minute show every day on Instagram. Maybe that's where I believe media is going. And I want to be able to, the reason I want to hit that million is I want to show to other people that it's possible. That with hard work and that ability to produce great content, I hope it's great content every day, gets you somewhere. And I feel that I need those type of numbers to be able to prove to supporters that can help contribute to this vision, get on board. So I guess someone's getting fired tomorrow, I'm sure. I'm just joking. But the short answer to your question is I have an idea, but at this stage, as I sit in front of you, I don't know. And I'm really happy saying that for once in my life. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. There was the voice. All right, we'll go 1, 2, and yeah, because he was waiting. I'm sorry. We'll go 1, 2, and you two over there. All right.
Hello. Okay, can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay, that's good. So basically, on your Instagram story, you're always showing how you're playing those all-nighters sometimes, and you stay up and you edit and stuff. And of course, everybody has their motives in life. But what makes you not leave that motive? What makes you keep that motive inside your mind? What makes you have that motivation? That why do I wake up in the morning? Why do I edit my videos? Why do I take my camera everywhere that I go? Why am I going to these different events and stuff? What keeps that motive inside your mind? What is that? How do you not lose that motive?
That's a phenomenal question, man. What's your name?
Zaid.
Zaid. That's a phenomenal question. When you start on a journey alone, you realize very quick that the only person that truly has a say in your success is you. How hard you work and how much you give. Because when you work in a company, when you have someone else giving you a salary every month, it's easy for you to sit back and be like, I could put 50% in today. I can put 20% in today. Today I feel good, I'm gonna put 100. I don't have that option. Every day, my success, the ability to feed and provide for my family is on me bringing 100% every day. Because as much as you like what I do now, all it takes is one video that's not really that good for you to be like, yeah, that's all it takes. And then imagine if I make 3 or 4 videos that are, then what? So every day I have to bring my A game. Every day I have to bring the best of who I am, because that's all I have. And it's only by doing that I feel all of you guys will continue to support me. Because I feel like regardless of what someone's doing, if you know that they're putting their heart and soul into it and they're doing it to try and give you guys content, you'll support them. You'll support them. Be like, okay, all right, he had a bad day, but he tried. I always feel that whenever you're on that journey, if you tell yourself that you are the one that's most going to dictate if you succeed or if you fail, you're always going to put 100%. One of my biggest inspirations that I follow on Instagram, funnily enough, is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. That guy is like a gazillionaire, and he works as if he's got 50 cents in his bank account. And he doesn't have to work another day in his life. But he grinds every single day. Because he's seen what it's like to be broke. I've seen that. My family come from my dad was very poor. My family, we had everything we needed, but it was a struggle to get everything a bit more than that. And my dad had to work like hell to get the things for us. So that's one of the biggest things that I can tell you is remember it. People, be the smartest worker in the room, fair enough, but I believe that the hardest worker, that endurance that you have, is always going to be the winner. I mean, it's in the numbers. When I was just playing around on Facebook, I amassed about 100,000 followers. But when I dedicated every day to this grind, every day a video, in 3 months, it went up 7 times. The stuff that took me 4 years to build. I did that 4 years in 3 months, 7 times. So, I mean, hard work always wins, man. And it's telling myself that allows me to work even more. No days off, man. The lady will also come to you, and then we'll do these 2 questions, and then I promise we'll get pizza. I'm starving. Didn't have any. We just had breakfast. That was pretty much it. I'm starving.
I just wanted to ask because, I have friends, and my goals in life is very different from them.
Yeah.
And they don't understand it. I'm always volunteering, studying or something. But they don't get it. So it's they're always why aren't you going out with us? It's I want to ask, how can I make my friends understand that thing?
Oh, all right. I think you're, how much do you like these friends?
I like them, but it's they really support, but not to the point, sometimes they get mad at me.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go, please. I'll take a break. I love this.
Hi, I don't know how old you are. I'm turning 22. I'm 29 now, almost. I give you a bit of my experience to that because I went through different stages of my life where different kinds of friends and different interests. I found now at 29, I would say, that my life changed. I evolved into total different directions. I grew up in Germany. I've been in UAE since about 7 years. And I'm interested in things my friends around me are not. So
Why did you do this?
because they are not my friends.
Because they are not your friends.
They're not, because I can have different values than you, but you should accept my values, and because you are my friend, right? And those who don't, they're not your friends. And this is what I learned in life, that the people who really, they trust me, they believe in me, I trust them, they believe in what they do, what I do, they will stick to you regardless what are your decisions. They might not be their values, but these are your values, and they should respect it. And through growing older, meeting different people from any kind, any place of the world, you will get that experience, and you will know the people who will stick to you are those who might not do the same things, but they accept the things you do.
That is a phenomenal answer, and I'm gonna say it in a statement, but it's also in the form of a question. Just to add a little bit onto that amazing answer is, when you start down that new path, you attract new people into your life that share those same values, that want to be volunteers. Like now, the people that I hang out with are the ones that grind and hustle just as hard as I do, and they're trying to achieve the things that I do, and we motivate each other. So I wanted to ask, as this new journey attracted new people into your life? There you go. There you go. Yep, everything. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Thank you so much for sharing that experience. Thank you. We had one and two questions. Oh, there was someone right there. Okay. What? No, please. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so you talked about
We'll talk on the side. Yeah?
You talked about the role of a man in a successful marriage in a perspective that we all agreed on. What do you think is the role of a woman in a successful marriage? And we would love to hear that from Salama too, but she's not here.
Salama, are you here? Probably out with Abdullah. Yep, I think she's probably out with Abdullah because Abdullah wasn't here. Or maybe Khalifa's gone too. Where's my family at? What's going on here? We're talking about a loving marriage, you guys are ditching me. Why are they different? Why does the role of a husband and a wife have to be different? I'm asking. So what's the difference? Sorry? I don't care about society. They can do whatever they want. And I'm not, sorry. I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything. I want to have this discussion. Let's open it up.
Very non-traditional, you know.
So what's...
No, and I think
yeah.
the way that you are is very progressive in the way that most women... I've been married 21 years, okay? I have a phenomenal husband.
Amazing.
But that is because he's just like you, that he supports what I do, all right? And that's what you have to get to be at.
Yeah.
You have to find that person that is going to be your best friend.
Words.
I agree with you on that. And it's okay if you differ. It's okay. I mean, and I may not speak to him for a week, and it's okay. We're drastically different cultures. He's Muslim and I'm Catholic. And guess what? It's okay. Because we look at each other individually. We don't look at each other as an object or any of that.
Or as a role, as you're asking, which is very important. That's why I say it's like, I think you can both bring, like, okay, you both work, you both take care of your kids, You both help. Like the video, what happens without a mother? That whole point of that video was that there is no definition of role. You are not defined by your gender when it comes to a relationship, when it comes to a partnership, when it comes to parenting. And it's only through that that we sort of are able to progress as a society. And we need to do that work. And I'm not going to be harsh on the on our. This is a global thing, a very global thing. You read, I read news every day. I think it's because of my search I'm fed this news. But like, for example, The Crown. You know the series The Crown? It's making big news. Why? Because the Queen in the movie, as an actress, is getting paid less than her husband. And he's not even the main character. See, these roles, we keep trying to define these roles and stuff, and everything's doing it. Media is pushing it onto it. Well, really, there is no predefined role just because you're a certain gender. And I believe that our leadership believe that. I believe that, you know, our society, deep down, that we need to believe that if we're going to progress forward as a society. We have to. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Khamis Mohammed Salim.
Hello, Khamis.
And so I was sitting at home today, and a friend of mine told me Khalid Al Amri is coming. And I was like, who that? And then he was like, Khalid Al Amri. And I'm like, who's that? So he showed me a picture, and I was like, oh, this guy, the Emirati guy who speaks English on his seminars.
Thanks.
So,
my greatest achievement in life.
That's not what I meant.
I'm joking with you.
Videos, and they're actually quite nice.
Thank you.
And I'm not a person who watches a lot of YouTube. So
Facebook.
when I noticed the posters, they were written that you were talking about marriage.
Yeah.
So that's something that got my attention. So I was like, okay, I'll come here. And I've heard your talks for a few minutes. I came late.
It's okay.
And my question is, what would you say to the people who are, I bet there's a lot of people who are not married here. The people who are not married yet, and the society is always like negative about marriage. And when do you think is the perfect time to get married? And why I mean negative is that sometimes like you go to the court and you see a lot of people like being divorced or whatever, and they go like, you know what, don't get married. Or like, you know, you should...
Obviously they're going to say that.
Exactly, but then it depends on the person. If the person's really close to you, take them as, you know what, maybe it's real. Maybe like they mean it.
Okay.
They shouldn't get married.
Sure. So, number one, let me answer it very quickly. With a perfect age to get married, I don't think there is one. I think there's the perfect time, and only you and your significant other can decide that. That's one. So anyone that comes to you with a perfect time, perfect place, shut up. All right, just shut up. Go home and get some frozen yogurt or something. You know, because like there is no. You define those perfect moments. You define those special things because it's your life. Okay, that's one. Okay, yeah, the divorce thing. You know, I want to try and link these things. You know, they say there's a famous saying that you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So there was once this. I was giving this talk on marriage at the beginning of my career, and one of these young girls got up and said, "You know, I think I'm probably going to get a divorce from my husband." And I said, "All right, you know, I mean, what's going on? Like, do you want to talk to us?" She's like, "I don't know. I just don't feel right." I'm like, "Okay, you know, do you have any friends and stuff that help you or advise you and stuff?" Yeah, I got a few friends. I'm like, "Yeah, and how are they married?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, why not?" "Oh, they all got divorced." I'm like, "Oh." So hearing that every day, I'm not talking about like once on the weekend. Your friends, the average, the 5 people you spend the most time with. Imagine every day, every single day of your life, day in, day out. Think about that. People telling you marriage sucks. There's a high likelihood that you're going to believe marriage sucks. Very high. So I believe it's just a matter of not believing the people who tell you marriage sucks and not believing the people who tell you marriage is amazing. But taking the time to figure it out for yourself, bro. Of just saying, well, okay, some place sucks. I mean, it literally is drawn down the line on divorce rates. The average is like 50%. Anyone know differently? It's like 50-50. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a downer, but that's what it is. So anyone that tells you good or bad, they're only half right. And they maybe fall on one side. So the reason I don't want to tell you the perfect age, or, you know, is marriage good, bad, bad, is because I would never do that to another human being. This is your life, bro. I'm not going to rid you of the beauty and the experience and the fulfillment and the tears and the joy or whatever it is that you go through that you'll experience through that. And sorry?
When did you know that you're ready?
I don't think I knew I was at that time. I knew that I knew that I loved her. I knew that I cared for her, and I knew that she felt the same way for me. But were we ready? I don't think we were. But we were happy, and it's something that we wanted to do. I see you're digging for an answer, like something that I don't have one, bro. I'm sorry. Like I don't, because if I tell you the perfect time to get married is 23. Oh God, I'm 24. Ah! I wouldn't do that, because you're gonna meet someone beautiful and they're gonna make you happier than you've ever felt before, and you're gonna experience that when it happens, not when someone tells you the perfect age is, or not when someone tells you marriage is good or marriage is bad. I promise you that. Last question, and I hope Mother of the Nation. هلا. لا خذ راحتك يا اختي. الله يطول في عمرك، ما قصرتي يا اختي. حاضرين، الله يخليك. نعم.
صراحة يعني عن تجربة وعن حياة عشتها، الرجل العظيم يترك أثر للمرأة شيء عظيم.
نعم.
أسلوبه أخلاقه.
نعم.
يعني أنت كلام تكلمت عنه كان أنا مرة في هاي التجربة.
الله يخليك.
الحياة هي تعلمك.
نعم.
الأمور اللي تمر فيها.
نعم. بارك الله فيك يا اختي، ما قصرتي. طيب الحمد لله. نعم.
عاشوا على المحبة، طلعوا مثل الشيء هذا.
الحمد لله.
عاشوا على المحبة.
الله يخليك، ما قصرتي، يعطيك العافية يا اختي. Last question. No pressure.
I'm a big fan of both of you. I have a lot of respect for you guys.
Thank you so much, man.
And Allah يخليكم لبعض. ما شاء
حبيبي.
الله, you're on your way to always building a successful marriage, and I think that's a lot of inspiration. But I'm going to take you back a little bit, and I think it's a question for both you and Salama. You said something really beautiful, that you became best friends sort of afterwards, after your marriage, and I'm wondering what were the qualities that you guys looked for in each other, or what you were looking for in a partner when you were looking to get married? Like if there's 2 or 3 things that you said, those are really critical for me in order to have a successful marriage.
That's a great one. I think the number one quality, and you know, this is a given, is that we actually fundamentally cared about each other. I think the big thing is we respected each other. I think respect is a very important thing, because it's the foundation for a lot of the things that I talked about. For me to be second, and her to be in the spotlight, and me to be on the side holding her hand back, takes a level of respect for me to have for who she is and what she wants to do in her life. For me to value the role of a mother in the house, takes a level of respect for what a mother does. So I think respect was the ultimate foundation. And I think the second thing is we both had foundational values. And I need to be very careful when I talk about this. So we both kind of had the foundational values of, religion being a big part of our lives and stuff. And I need to be careful, because as we just heard from what's your name, sorry? Jill. What we just heard from Jill is a beautiful story about her husband is Muslim, and she is Catholic. So again, it was a foundational thing for us, but alternatives are there. But I'm sure there was some sort of value that they met on that didn't really have anything to do with the religion. So it's just a matter, again, and I want to answer in a similar way to this, because for us, I believe respect is a foundation for everything. And if I believe that's there, then love can grow from it. But in terms of the specific values that were there from us, it was really just caring for each other and knowing what we wanted in our marriage and our relationship. Is having somewhat of a similar vision for what we want to have in the future. And the reason that's important is because I see a lot of marriages finding trouble when the man or the wife doesn't want to have kids, but then the other partner believes, let's get married and I'll change their minds. And then realizing after 2-3 years, oh God, they were serious. They really don't want to have kids. So I think it's very important to have those foundational things and be transparent with each other about what it is that you want in life and ensuring that those things that you can connect. And again, with a lot of these things, there's sacrifice. What are you willing to give up on? What are you willing to go? And it's stories that we hear every day. Is she willing to move from wherever she is? Are you willing to move from wherever you are? Are you willing to wait 5 years to have kids? Is she willing to wait 5 years to have kids? I think transparency is something, again, another value that Salam and I have. We're very transparent with each other. Sometimes to a fault. Like where we won't even be nice about things, you know? And I like that about us because, you know, nothing ever lingers, bro. Like whenever she feels a certain way, I know about it instantly. And these are some of the sort of the small values that we had that play a big role. It's always about the small things. But I think if I was to give one piece of advice is to have such a clear line of communication between you two, that nothing is kept inside. Because this is a person that you want to share your life with. And if you're keeping something inside about how you feel or what you want, and you haven't shared it with them, they're not the ones that are at fault. You are. I hope that answers your question, because they're a combination of so many things, man. Anyway, God bless you all. Thank you all so much for coming.